raise your hands. John Radigan.
Kyle, with the offense kind of scuffling the way it has all year, the margin for error isn't great. Does that have any effect on you when you take the mound?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think, I don't want to sound like a jerk here, but I thought the offense did a good job tonight. The A's have a good staff, and I know Manaea, he gave up some runs in his first start, but he's throwing the ball pretty well, and we did a good job to battle, for a cross on him. So, I think the offense did a good job. It would have been good to try to avoid the Laureano home run there in the fifth and to try to keep a two-run cushion. But no, I don't think no complaints with the offense at all. I think it's important to realize it's a pretty good team over there. And that's 2 games we played pretty good with them. And obviously we came out on the loss column both sides, or both games. But that's a really good team over there. So the fact that we played 14 or 15 pretty good innings against them out of 18. That's pretty good.
You put up that 0 after your team got 3 to take the lead. That becomes pretty important at that point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's one thing that I struggled at times last year. So it's something that it's really important against good teams to do that. Your team gives you a couple runs. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it there in the bottom of the first. Thought I made a good pitch to Olsen, and he just put a really good swing on it. And unfortunately, couldn't do it there. But it's really important against good teams. Get your offense back out there, especially when they're feeling good. And for the most part, gosh, I don't know how many hits we ended up with tonight, but we swung the bat pretty well and just couldn't cash in on a couple opportunities.
Other questions? Evan?
Hey, Kyle, I know it's early, but you obviously know that this season has a different kind of tenor to it. How do you keep this club from getting frustrated when it hits a little bit of a funk here in terms of whether it's some bullpen hiccups or the offense being a little bit slow out of the gate? A little funk here could turn into a big issue.
Yeah, I think the worst thing you can do right now as a team is put too much pressure on yourself on one game. You can't as a bullpen, you can't feel like you have to be perfect. You can't feel like you're going out there, Game 7 of the World Series every time, and if you give up the lead, it's the end of the season. So you got to keep everything in perspective. I was just talking with Lance a little bit after the game. It's one thing that every team and every culture is a little bit different, but how you handle a loss really kind of dictates, in my mind, how you bounce back for the next game. You want to absorb it, and you want to take in the things that you could have done better. But if you allow that loss and that feeling after the loss to turn into 2 losses and 3 losses and so on, you're only doing your team a disservice. So I think if we can do a good job of bouncing back tomorrow, put a couple good swings in the first couple innings, it's going to be important. But that's really how you don't let it turn into a big thing. You just have to try to minimize and minimize the pressure and importance on one game, and understand that if we win series the rest of the year, now we're probably not going to win every series, but if we win a lot of series the rest of the year, I have a good feeling that we're probably going to make the playoffs. So you can't put too much pressure on yourself right now, regardless of how many games we're playing this year.
But with so many young guys in that bullpen, with so many unproven guys, is there a role that this group like you and Lance can kind of play in helping those guys kind of take that approach that you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look at Xavi and Edinson and I'm blanking on who else might be down there, Goody and those guys. I think there's guys down there that have been through the ringer and through it, and they're going to be a part of it as well. But you definitely have to. You gotta just walk the young guys through it a little bit and make them understand. Jabot came in after his inning and said my bad. It's like, hey man, that's part of the game. Nobody wants to go out there and give up runs. I definitely don't want to go out there and give up 3 runs, but it's a part of it. I appreciate the gesture of him coming up, but I told him, listen, man, just keep firing the ball. It's going to go your way, and your stuff's good enough to go out there and get outs 99% of the time. And, that 1% of the time is not going to work out. So you can't magnify it when it's on your start day. You can't magnify it, in certain situations, whenever it's a big situation and you give up the runs, because obviously if we were up 6 or 7 runs and Jabot gives up 2, it's no big deal. So it stinks that early in the year those mistakes have been magnified, but I think it's important for everybody to keep it in perspective and stay loose. I think if there's one thing, maybe we've played just we've allowed the shortened season to get to us a little bit and be a little uptight, and really trying to get off on a good start and on a good foot. And yes, it's important, but like I said last time, nobody's locked up a playoff berth and nobody's lost it yet.
Great. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Other questions for Kyle? Anything else? TR?
Seemed like, I don't know if this really matters anymore, but it seemed like this team really got picked up tonight by that catch that Chu made in left field, and it looked like you had a little emotion coming off the mound. What was that like? Yeah,
I mean, 100%. That's a game-changing play. Obviously, it turns out to maybe not be, but in the situation, that's a game-changing play. Chu, he saved my backside right there for a couple runs, and kept the momentum on our side right there after I got us in some trouble. And 100%. I have been fortunate to play with a couple pretty good outfielders, and that was one of those plays that's a really big play, and you'll see me do that a lot. I don't want to just run off the mound and act like I did a great job to get out of that. I want to make sure that he understands that I appreciate that play, and that's why I hung out there and made sure to give him a high five.